Welcome to Drunk Bible Study. This show's mission is to read every single word of the greatest story ever told. A warning to our listeners, the hosts of this show are sinners, but they're doing their best. There will be drinking and there may be some swears. They did say they'd try to keep it clean, but I wouldn't put my money on it.
I'm Emily, and this is Drunk Bible Study, where my good friends Dedeker and Jace teach me, a born and raised atheist, all about the Bible. So, Jace, how are you doing today? Dedeker, I care about you too, but let's go to Jace first.
Okay.
Well, for those of you who are at the live show or who are watching the video, I'm in a new location, still in the same house, but this room, as of a week ago, was like you could not walk in here. It was all filled with boxes of stuff that's been here since my mom moved into this house like 2 years ago. That's just never been
just a junk room.
It's been a junk room. And I was like, you know what? I would like to have an office and not have to keep working from the living room. So I spent this week cleaning out this, or I spent last week, I guess, cleaning out this office and making a space for myself. And here I am.
This is the most exciting way we can travel in 2020.
Yeah.
I know, yeah. Can't go across the world, multiple places, but you can clear out a space and have it be
create your
around.
own destination and then go to it. I was in the front of the house, and now I'm in the back of the house. It's a whole new world.
So now Dedeker and my respective offices are sort of next to each other. So it's sort of like we go and we walk over to our office space where we both rent office
Have
space.
the morning commute.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's very nice. I love it. Well, Dedeker, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm lovely because today is a very exciting day. And especially exciting, I think, for any listeners that we have with us who've been listening since Genesis, I want to say. So quite a while, going back like 2 years or so now. If you'll recall, at the time that we were going through the story of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, where we were both reading it.
One of our favorites.
Yes, one of our favorites. Love that screechy, high-pitched eardrum shattering
narrator. Yes.
Sorry, Emily. I wasn't saying you're screechy. This narrator was a little bit screechy.
No. It's always screechy. I need to read the music and see how high she goes, but it's
very
especially
high.
That woman. Goodness.
Anyway, so back then, Jace revealed to us that he performed in a production of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat in the late 90s when he was just a tiny boy
I guess
tiny teenage boy.
I would have been 17 going on 18.
Yes. And now, if you'll recall, at that time, I did say I would pay money. I would pay real world American dollars for access to some footage. And your Jace were like, oh, yeah, I don't know. It's probably buried somewhere. And lo and behold, as Jace is excavating his new office, what should we find buried in the strata but a DVD recording of Jace performing in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. So if you are here with us right now in our live recording, in our audience, after we have wrapped on the episode today, we're going to stick around and watch it because it's amazing. Emily has not seen it yet at all. I've seen it. And oh god, we're
watching some parts specifically with you in it.
Yeah,
right,
we don't care about any other kid in the local community theater.
We are not watching this whole thing at all.
No.
We are just gonna watch a little bit of the Potiphar song and the whole Pharaoh song. And
you were Pharaoh.
Yes, because you were Pharaoh.
I was Potiphar and Pharaoh.
Okay. Beautiful.
So anyway, stick around
so
if that's something that interests you.
There's some pelvic hijinks, let me just tell you.
Oh
boy.
Oh my goodness.
It's pretty adorable.
Wow.
Anyway, yes, if you're here with us, stick around. If you're not here with us, you're listening to the recorded version of this. This is going to be posted in our Drunk Bible Study Fans and Fellowship Facebook group. So if you want to see the goods, you got to join the goods. And by the goods, I mean the group. And by the group, I mean the Drunk Bible Study Fans and Fellowship Facebook group. That's how I'm doing, Emily.
Goodness.
Thank you for asking.
Beautiful. Yes, thank you. That's fantastic. Wow. Well, with that, what did we talk about last week? I know that there was a latrine.
Yes.
Oh,
specifically
yeah. I'd forgotten about the
Baal's latrine.
It wasn't.
I know.
It was not the latrine that belonged to Baal. It was the latrine that was created from the remains of Baal's
Baal.
temple.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And then there was a lady who was not a pharaoh, a queen for a little while.
Yeah, one
for
of
like
our
a hot
few
6
queens
years.
who ruled without being married to a man.
Yeah. How incredible is that? And I think we found out that she was like the only one.
Yeah.
The only one who got
in
to
the
do
whole
this.
Bible. Yeah, she's the only one.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty incredible.
But
then,
unfortunately, she was evil in this story, or she's our bad guy.
Yes. And then a little baby boy became a baby king. And
Right.
so we'll have to see what happens with that.
Yeah, Joash, our child king. Do you think is he gonna age? He's gonna stay a baby?
That's a good question.
We weren't sure
Probably
last
they'll age
time.
him immediately. They'll just be like, and then all of a sudden he was 35 and he was a king.
Yeah,
Still.
we weren't sure last time if we were actually going to hear any of his deeds or if it was just going to be like, and he ruled over Israel for 48 years and then he died because he was evil. And that's all we're going to get.
Right.
We'll find out.
I mean, I think that's kind of the question with the last few books. Is like with each new judge or new king, the question is, are they a good king or a bad king? In other words, did they follow Yahweh's statutes or did they not? And that's kind of the game we're playing, and we're going to get more
or did
of
they
that
kind
today.
of do it, and then like one little thing was wrong, and then they were murdered.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Which happened with the guy that rounded up all the Baalians, all the Christian Bale fans, to Balkan, and then killed them all.
Balkan.
I forgot
Christian
about
Balkan. Oh my gosh. It's amazing.
Yeah, brought them all to Balkan and then killed them all, but then still allowed other gods to be worshipped or something. He did something else bad, and so Yahweh still wasn't happy. But kind of was like, but because you did this one cool move,
It's one cool con.
4 generations from now, then your sons will be good to go.
Oh, that's nice. That's really nice.
He really
of Yahweh.
does work
Thank
in
you.
mysterious ways, doesn't he?
For sure.
Yeah.
As they say. As they say. All right, what are y'all drinking?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. I'm having more of my favorite peanut butter milk stout from Belching Beaver Brewery.
Beaver.
And yeah, Belching Beaver Brewery is based in Oregon, I believe.
It's pretty close to where you are.
Oceanside, California. Wrong.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
it's based in
pretty close to
Oceanside,
where I am.
California. But I always associate it with Shanghai because that was the first time I had it. It was with Emily in Shanghai, and so now
Where
for
I'm
me,
not currently because it's 2020. And I keep getting all these like notifications of like 2 years ago in Shanghai,
you're
last
like,
year
thanks.
in Shanghai, and I'm like, ugh.
Oh yeah, those notifications this year, I swear to God.
They've been the
there
worst.
have
I know.
been previous
Yeah.
years where sometimes it's crappy and most of the time it's like, oh, that's fun. And this year I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
Here's
remind me
your-
where I was.
Here's your memories hanging out with all your friends. I'm like, cool. That
Yeah.
sounds great.
Yeah. Here's how
Yeah,
much
I'm like,
better your
oh.
life used to be. You remember that?
What a nice time that was.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. Yeah.
Anyway,
so
Jace, what are you drinking?
I'm on
your sorrows away.
I'm already halfway through it, but I am on this same California train, and in honor of Dedeker's hometown, I got a Sierra Nevada Dankful IPA. I'm very
Super
thankful
dank.
for it.
ready
Yes,
for
one I hadn't had
Thanksgiving?
before, so I tried it.
It is November.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Oh, that's beautiful. Well, I have a beautiful creation as usual. Here it is. This is a blueberry mojito. A creation, another Sun Cafe creation. It's really just like blueberries muddled with a mojito.
Well, for our listeners at home who are only
yes.
listening to the audio version of this, I just have to describe that Emily lifted up to the camera like a 6-foot tall glass.
No, this is
of,
literally
like,
like a 12-ounce glass. It's
of
very
these like
thin.
floating suspended blueberries in this very like dreamy but also kind of spacey pinkish liquid, and clearly like this wonderful beautiful heavenly layer of like cucumbers and limes on top. It's just
Wow.
lovely.
It's
epic.
it just is muddled blueberries, mint and lime, and then clearly what is it, rum, and then a little bit of agave, and also topped it with blueberries and then some just like sparkling water.
Wow.
And that was it.
Wow,
Looks
Emily,
great.
It's lovely.
I hope you're writing down all these recipes to eventually go into the Drunk Bible Study cocktail book.
For sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
good,
Well, and I'm
good.
taking pictures of each of these.
Oh, good.
Oh, good. Okay,
Yeah,
those
great.
can go in the book too. Perfect.
Absolutely. Yeah. We want to be able to recreate these for sure. So. we're good. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, with that, should we get into it?
We should.
I think we should.
Okay.
Indeed.
Let's do it. So, as we get started today, we're going to be reading 2 Kings 12 through 14. If you want to read along with us, you can go to drunkbiblestudy.com/read and type in 2 Kings 12-14. As we get started, we want to remind everyone to read responsibly and drink responsibly.
You can drink along with us, or you can listen while you're in the car.
But please do not do both at the same time. And with that, it is 2 Kings chapter 12. In the 7th year of Jehu began Jehoash. Jehoash?
Is Jehoash our tiny baby boy?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. And how did you say it? Jehoash?
Jehoash. I'm a little confused
Sure.
because I noticed in some of our show notes for this episode, someone wrote Joash also, and I can't tell if those are the same person.
Yeah, so I'm also very confused about this because when I was researching what to put as the tagline for this episode, I found quotes having to do with Joash and Jehoash.
Oh boy!
From the same source. It wasn't two different sources using different names.
Yikes.
So maybe they are different people. We might discover that through this, but yeah, it's unclear.
This is like Game of Thrones? It's so similar in
right.
terms of the names.
Totally.
Yeah, it's very confusing, but let's try to figure it out. So, okay, this is Jehoash. So in the 7th year of Jehu began Jehoash to reign, and he reigned 40 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Zibiah of Beersheba.
Whoa, wait.
Jehoash?
Wait, what?
Yes.
Because I was just
Zibiah.
I was just reading along in the message, and it says his mother's name was Gazelle.
What?
She was a
gazelle?
The animal?
She hopped across the Serengeti?
Gazelle,
full of grace?
Gazelle Munchen.
Gazelle Bündchen, yeah.
Bündchen? Munchen?
Cool.
Bündchen? I don't know.
It's a bee.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm saying it right, but yeah.
No, gazelle like the animal. But so maybe that's what that word
so is
means.
that what Zibiah? Zibiah?
Possibly.
I could see that being the
yeah.
word for gazelle. That makes sense.
Sure.
Okay.
So Zibiah of Beersheba, Jehoash did that which was right in the eyes of Yahweh all his days, in which Jehodiah the priest instructed him.
Let's hear it for Jehoash.
Well done.
Wow.
I'm going to drink to that. Goodness.
Yeah, because
However-
if you drink for when people do wrong in the sight of Yahweh, that's going to be a rough time.
Yeah. No, we'll try to keep it to the good things. We'll see. Okay. However, the high places were not taken away. The people still sacrificed and burnt incense in the high places. God forbid.
Shoot.
No incense.
No incense allowed.
Yes. Palo Santo or anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
None of it.
Yeah. Jehoash said to the priests, all the money of the holy things that is brought into the house of Yahweh in current money, the money of the persons for whom each man is rated, and all the money that it comes into any man's heart to bring into the house of Yahweh, let the priests take it to them, every man from his acquaintance, and they shall repair the breaches of the house, wherever any breach shall be found.
Okay, excuse me, Jehoash. I was with you for about 2 seconds there, and I'm going to need you to back up a little bit because this sounds like a really complicated Venmo transaction that you're describing to me. I can't tell who owes who money. How are you factoring in the tip and tax? Of course, there's always the friend who only wants to use Zelle and doesn't use Venmo, of course. Okay, what's actually
We've all
happening?
got that friend. Gosh.
Yeah,
what is
or the
actually
Cash App
happening
or
in
something.
this interaction?
All the money of the holy things that is brought into the house of Yahweh.
So
Okay,
Check.
in current money.
in current money. Okay.
Not an old ass money.
No.
In
But then it
current
says,
ass
Yeah.
money.
but it says the money of the persons for whom each man is rated.
Jace, you got to help us out. What does the message say?
Okay.
Yeah, just tell us what the message says.
The
please.
message says, take the money. So Joash instructed
And run.
the priests to take the money and run.
Please.
Take the money, that is brought into the temple of God for holy offerings, both mandatory offerings and free will offerings, and keeping a careful accounting, use them to renovate the temple whenever it has fallen into disrepair.
Okay. Great. They weren't doing that already?
Yeah, I guess not.
They were letting them just get all dilapidated and stuff.
I think so,
and the priests were just like running wild, going on shopping sprees.
Well, they were new for so long that I think they didn't think about it. And now it's like, hey, so we actually need to start keeping track so that we can maintain this. I think maybe that's the deal.
Okay,
but it was so that in the 23rd year...
23rd, got it.
Of King Jehoash, the priests had not repaired the breaches of the house. How dare they? Then King Jehoash called for Jehoiada. Jehoiada?
There you go, yeah. Jehoiada.
Jehoiada the priest, and for the other priests, and said to them, why don't you repair the breaches of the house?
What the hell, man?
Yeah. Now, therefore, take no more money from your acquaintance, but deliver it for the breaches of the house. It's like, I am not giving you anything else until you fix this.
Well, I think
good. I'm glad.
He's like, from now on, you don't even get to take from the offering to repair the temple. You have to pay to repair it yourself. Because 27 years or 23 years have gone by and you haven't done it.
Rough.
I think you can afford it. That's what he's saying.
It's true. Yeah, where's all this money that you put away?
Right.
The priests consented that they should take no more money from the people, neither repair the breaches of the house. Huh?
What?
Or like until they prepare? Is that what they mean?
Or
until
take no money from the people in order to repair the breaches of the house?
I think that's the deal. Yeah, it's like you got to use your own money for it.
Okay. But Jehoiada, the priest, took a chest and bored a hole in the lid of it and set it beside the altar on the right side as one comes into the house of Yahweh. And the priests who kept the threshold put therein all the money that was brought into the house of Yahweh.
Okay, so I made a little offering box. I guess this was new technology back then.
He made a little offering box.
You know, what's funny is I'm remembering having this memory of being in church as a kid, and they would have these offering boxes that looked like chests, like a pirate's treasure chest style, with the little like piggy bank slot on the top.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of cool.
This must be what that's trying to model it after.
Oh, see, I have a memory of it was like once a year or maybe twice a year in church. They would do like a special fundraiser, probably for like missions specifically. I mean, they always, pass the offering plate around for tithing, but once a year they would do this particular special thing. And everybody at home had this little cardboard box that you would like fold together, and that was meant to just like put your change in.
Right.
It was kind of like those UNICEF
like
boxes.
A UNICEF?
Yeah, it was like a UNICEF box.
Yeah.
But churchy.
Children of the 90s know exactly what you're talking about.
Much more churchy. And so the idea was like you'd save up all your change at home, and then usually, your parents would send you as a kid up to the front to like dump all your change in there. And yeah, also kind of in similar like these special offertory boxes that looked like treasure chest-ish.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I think this must be where they got that idea. Who knows if it actually looked like a pirate's treasure chest, but I don't know. I think that's where they got the idea. Wow, that's cool. I'm learning things. I love this.
So it was so when they saw that there was much money in the chest that the king's scribe and the high priest came up and put up in bags. Oh, and they put up in bags and counted the money that was found in the house of Yahweh. They gave the money that was weighed out into the house of those who did work, who had the oversight of the house of Yahweh, and they paid it to the carpenters and the builders who worked on the house of Yahweh. Cool. And to the masons. Yes.
Sorry, finish your sentence. I think I understand what's going on here.
And to the masons and the stonecutters, and for buying timber and hewn stone to repair the breaches of the house of Yahweh, and for all that was laid out for the house to repair it.
I think this deal with the chest with the hole in the top is that this is a locked chest. So it's like, hey, priests, when people come with their money to offer it, you put it in here. When you see that it's full, you call the king. How do you know it's full? His scribes and people. Well, I guess you can look in the little hole, probably. You just can't reach
in. You can't fit any more in.
Yeah.
If you can't see anything,
right,
it's full.
Right.
Yeah.
But then it's like, then my scribes will come, total it up, and they will give it to the people who need to do the repairs and oversee the repairs so that you can't be
I don't know
stealing
if it seems shady. It seems like some government oversight of the church. And I know we're all about separation of church and state, but I mean...
Yeah.
It seems like there was some corruption.
I was going to say,
because he's like, hey, you got to keep this up. And they're like, oh, we just used all that money. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, I mean, it's like today when it's like, yeah, this guy who started this church just happens to have a private jet because none of these churches have to pay any taxes, any GD taxes. So I don't know. I'm kind of into it. I'm kind of into the oversight, honestly.
I kind of like it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've been talking about these conspiracies from the Levites for a long time.
Oh, that's true. That they're just running a grift.
They definitely, they have the best setup here.
Yeah, so someone's finally coming along and being like, all right, let's.
Yeah. Okay, but there were not made for the house of Yahweh cups of silver, snuffers, basins, trumpets, any vessels of gold or vessels of silver, of the money that was brought into the house of Yahweh. For they gave that to those who did the work and repaired there within the house of Yahweh.
I see. So you didn't get your like cool, nice fancy silver and gold things. You had to actually use the money to repair stuff. Okay.
Moreover, they didn't demand an accounting from the men into whose hand they delivered the money to give to those who did the work, for they dealt faithfully.
Well, that's good.
Good.
Maybe. Okay. I mean, hopefully. The money for the trespass offerings and the money for the sin offerings was not brought into the house of Yahweh. It was the priests.
Period.
Okay.
Period.
So the priests did get certain offerings.
I guess.
Huh.
Then Hazael, king of Syria, went up and fought against Gath and took it. And Hazael set his face to go up to Jerusalem. Was he like, here's my face, Jerusalem. Yeah. Jehoash, king of Judah, took all the holy things that Jehoshaphat and Jehoram, and as Ahaziah, his father's king of Judah, had dedicated, and his own holy things, and all the gold that was found in the treasures of the house of Yahweh and of the king's house, and sent it to Hazael, king of Syria, and he went away from Jerusalem.
Whoa.
But he, gave all this stuff to them? What? What happened?
So Hazael, who's the king of Syria, he was attacking, he, went to attack Jerusalem, and instead our wise boy king Jehoash was like, I'm gonna get all the gold from all my ancestors and all of mine, and I'm gonna give it to him. I'm gonna pay him off to not attack us.
Whoa.
I mean, that's a new tactic that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Fascinating. All right.
Non-violent. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's good. Different solutions in these days.
Indeed. Now, the rest of the acts of Joash. Wait. There it is. Joash.
Wait, now it's Joash?
Yes.
Whoa.
Boy.
Okay.
Boy.
Yes, we're saying the Chronicles thing, but they changed the name. That's weird.
It does seem like they're two different names for the same dude.
Yeah, but I don't like that. We should write that down.
Well, so John Michael in the chat mentioned that apparently adding this extra H and in there is potentially a more formal version of the name.
Huh.
So Jehoash and Joash, or Jehoshua versus Yeshua, or Joshua versus Jesus.
If Emily and I are going to a formal dinner, she can't just be Emily. She has to be a Hemily.
Yeah. And
I don't want to be a Hemily.
You're Dehedeker, and I'm Jehace. Yeah.
Jehace.
Of course.
Okay. So now we're going all, not formal right here. Now the rest of the acts of Joash and all that he did, aren't they written in the book of the Chronicles of the King of Judah?
Drink.
Yeah. I'm drinking. Yep.
Okay. His servants arose and made a conspiracy and struck Joash at the house of Milo on the way that goes down to Silla. For Josachar, how many J names are we going to have? I swear.
No.
Wait, so... sorry, you just dropped it in there real quick. The Milo.
We've talked about the Milo before.
It's the Pentagon, right?
Potentially.
Yeah, the Pentagon. Yeah. Well, it's like a stronghold.
Yeah,
right?
they think. No one's really sure,
Okay.
but that's kind of the best theory we got.
So he's like strolling along at the Pentagon, and his servants
And then they struck
killed
him down?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't. Well, oh no, he did die. Okay, here it is. Yeah, struck Joash at the house of Millo on the way that goes down to Silla for Josachar, the son of Shimeath, and Jehozabad, goodness, son of Shomer, his servants struck him and he died, and they buried him with his fathers in the city of David, and Amaziah, his son, reigned in his place.
Gosh.
And that was the short, sad tale. I mean, kind of slash sad slash cool, good tale of Joash slash Jehoash.
Well, we finally had a
the
good boy.
/king.
We finally had a good boy king, but then he got
good
killed.
boy king.
I mean, it was
Gosh.
40 years, so that's not bad. But to us, it was
but-
one chapter.
So why is God like, these good boy kings, they still need to be made. I mean, not that they're making him like they're doing anything specific with them. They're not like, oh, okay, we're gonna kill
What are you
him
talking
because
about?
What is happening?
no,
getting
he's.
lost.
I mean, I'm surprised that they killed this like nice guy.
Yeah,
I mean,
but you know, that happens. Servants plan conspiracies, and Yahweh's on a
Yeah,
power
but-
trip pretty much 100%
But
of the
Yahweh
time.
isn't like,
so-
I'm gonna let this guy off and just die in his sleep of old age.
Nah.
I feel like in general, it seems like in these days, Yahweh's a little more hands off than he used to be. He used to kind of dish out his punishments and rewards right away.
Kind of.
Now
he's
kinda,
not gonna like make an example of the good guy.
Right. I mean, okay, we just had a king a couple chapters ago who reigned for 1 year. So the fact that this guy got 40, maybe not so bad.
All right.
Maybe it's the
But he
problem
still
of
has
the
to, like,
authors
die
here.
in
Should
a
count his blessings.
vicious way.
Yeah, that the authors didn't spend enough time with this good boy. Instead, they're
No.
just like, yeah, he was good, and then he got killed.
Go read
See,
Chronicles.
it's like he was. Well, read Chronicles / he was good, so he was boring. So we're not going to spend a lot of time on
That's
him.
true. That's
yeah.
true. Less goss with this guy.
But I guess also we're supposed to take away that the people still were kind of wicked, or at least his servants were, because they're the ones who planned to kill him. So I think maybe that's more the deal.
Well, what do you think, Jace? Is it time for an intermission? Even though we only got through one chapter.
Oh yeah, I think that after the first chapter is when intermission should happen, because this is empty.
Oh, wow.
This drink is empty.
Goodness.
And I'm going to give everyone a moment to go refill their drinks. But first, we want to take a quick moment to talk about how you can support this show and keep things like these live shows going and the podcast in general continuing to be available for free.
Okay, and we are back and ready to hop straight in to 2 Kings chapter 13.
Lucky 13.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the 23rd year of Joash, the son of Ahaziah, king of Judah.
Oh, we're back. Okay.
We're back.
We're back.
Rewind
Just
in
kidding.
time. Hey, we forgot some things.
Yeah, actually, we do want to continue talking about him. Never mind.
So in that year, Jehoahaz, the son of Jehu, began to reign over Israel in Samaria, and reigned 17 years. He did that which was evil in the sight of Yahweh, and followed the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, with which he made Israel to sin. He didn't depart from it. The anger of Yahweh was kindled against Israel, and he delivered them into the hand of Hazael, king of Syria, and into the hand of Ben-Hadad, the son of Hazael, continually. Period.
I see, just like he just repeatedly screwed up
Yes.
and lost battles to these guys. Okay.
Wow.
Constantly. Jehoahaz begged Yahweh, and Yahweh listened to him, for he saw the oppression of Israel, how that the king of Syria oppressed them. Now, this is in parentheses. Yahweh gave Israel a savior, so that they went out from under the hand of the Syrians, and the children of Israel lived in their tents as before. Nevertheless, they didn't depart from the sins of the house of Jeroboam, with which he made Israel to sin, but walked therein, and there remained the Asherah, also in Samaria. So this time it's not the Baal, it's the Asherah. It's always one or the
Classic.
other.
Yeah.
Beyonce
Yeah.
made another appearance.
Real quick, in the message here, it's that so Yahweh, he did the prayer and Yahweh sent a savior, which is cool and all. I wish we had more details about what that means. But
Yeah, exactly. Who is this savior?
So then it says, but it didn't make any difference. They didn't change their lives. Didn't turn away from the Jeroboam sins. That's a hyphenated word. Jeroboam
the
sins.
Jeroboam sins.
Wow.
That now
Wow.
characterized Israel, including the sex and religion shrines of Asherah still flourishing in
Oh.
Samaria.
Right, we get the much more lurid details of Asherah and basically how she
message,
sounds
yeah.
way cooler.
Sounds way more
Yahweh.
fun. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, clearly.
For he didn't leave to Jehoahaz. Sorry. I'm
It's
sorry.
okay. It happens all the time to me. Don't worry.
For he didn't leave to Jehoahaz of the people save 50 horsemen and 10 chariots and 10,000 footmen. For the king of Syria destroyed them and made them like the dust in threshing.
Boy.
Wow.
Ah. Now, the rest of the acts of Jehoahaz
I can feel you leading up to it. I can feel you getting ready to do it.
and all that he did and his might. Aren't they written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel?
Aren't they?
Drink.
Yes. Yes, they are.
Jehoahaz slept with his fathers, and they buried him in Samaria. And Joash his son, or with another Joash. And Joash
Okay.
his son
Or is
reigned
this
in
not
his
the
place.
Joash
Or
that
is
we
this
were
a
talking?
Is it a new Joash?
So this is wild because
Yeah, what is happening?
in the message,
in the message, they're like, his name is actually Zebra.
no,
Different great African animal.
right. So in the message, the previous king we were talking about was Joash with no
Uh-huh.
H. And then this one is Jehoash.
Ah,
Oh my gosh.
But we saw
See,
before
that's not
they
okay.
were interchangeable, and now who knows? But I think it's a different dude, though. I think that's the idea.
Yeah, and it's
Okay.
very clear that it's
Okay.
a different dude.
So Joash his son reigned in his place. In the 37th year of Joash king of Judah began Jehoash, the son of Jehoahaz, to reign over Israel in Samaria and reigned 16 years. He did that which was evil in the sight of Yahweh. He
Typical.
didn't
Classic.
depart from all the sins of Jeroboam, or as some of us call them, the Jeroboam sins. The son of
Do we
Nebat,
call it that? Yeah?
the message does,
Oh.
with which he made Israel to sin, but he walked therein. Now the rest of the acts of Joash and all
Oh
that he
my-
did
oh my
and
gosh,
his might
really?
with
Why
which he
even
fought
talk about
against
him then?
Amaziah, king of Judah, aren't they written in the
Jeez.
book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel?
I love. Okay, drink first, but also I love
Footnote.
Emily's. I love Emily's. Like, why are we even talking about him? It's like,
No,
don't
exactly.
waste my
They're
time.
like, yes, they're gonna like say one sentence and then they're like, but you can read more about him in the Book of Chronicles.
Wow.
Joash slept with his fathers, and Jeroboam sat on his throne. So there's another Jeroboam. Oh, gosh. Okay. And Joash was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel.
Okay, can I just ask, like, when people read this, you know, all those people out there that say that they've read the whole Bible
Do
like
they
a
love
million
it? Do they have
times.
fun? Does it reaffirm their faith? The
Yeah,
answer to all that is yes.
that, but also do they keep track of each of these like similarly / completely the same named people? And they're like, yes, this is Joash 1, this is Joash B, this is Joash C.
I think if you were truly in like,
Joash
seminary and doing some kind of like deep dive into Second
You'd
Kings,
have to take notes at the same
Yeah, sure,
time.
you'd take notes.
Yeah. Okay. Like maybe
You
I'm.
need the Bible for dummies. Like
Does
you
that
need like
exist?
the Cliff
I'm
Notes
Googling it right
Bible
now.
edition.
The
Come on.
Bible
I mean, I'm
for-
sure it exists.
Dummies. Oh,
Yeah. I'm just gonna
oh, yeah.
do Bible Cliff
Cliff
Notes.
Notes.
Is that does?
Why aren't we reading
exist.
that? I mean, I want no.
would be
That's
a
not the
shorter
point of the
podcast.
show.
Emily, because that's just going to church. That's literally just going to church. Is the Bible Cliff Notes? That is
Wow.
what it is.
Okay.
Wow.
Good point. All right. There you go.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I can't believe
Okay,
there's a
where
Cliff
was
Notes of the whole thing though. Wow. Amazing.
Can you really not believe that?
No, you're right. I mean, it seems like
Clearly there's a need
easy
for
money
it.
for the Cliff Notes people to do.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course.
Yeah.
What I was going to say though is maybe I'm biased because I tend to be not a very critical reader when it comes to names, to keeping track of names. So for me, the same thing is true with reading like The Lord of the Rings or A Song of Ice and Fire, or like anything where there's a lot of names in it. I'm just like, yeah. I'll get it from context who this person is. I'm not so worried about exactly what their name is.
The context is hard here.
Well, yes, that too. But I could imagine just reading this. If I were trying to read through this all myself, I'd probably just go through and be like, Jehoash, okay. Maybe that's new. I don't know. I'm just going to figure it out.
I do that with fantasy novels, especially modern fantasy novels, where if in the first chapter, I'm like, you introduce your main character, and I'm like, that's a stupid name. I'm just going to cast you in my mind as like Paul Dano or something, and I'll call you Paul Dano, and then
Paul Dano? Why is his name Dano? I thought it was Dano.
Whatever it is, it doesn't matter.
On the weird syllable that you do that, Dedeker.
The point
that's
is, that's how I got through In the Name of the Wind, and I'm going to get back to the Bible now. Okay,
great.
Whatever. Go.
Now, Elisha was fallen sick of his sickness of which he died. Spoilers.
Sad for him.
So Elisha's going to die.
He's going to die.
Oh, yeah, Elisha. We haven't talked about him in like a hot minute.
I know.
I forgot about him. I was like, this is a new
book.
Character. Oh, no, it's not. It's not at all. I thought he was long dead.
No, Elijah was taken up to heaven.
I know, but we haven't heard about Elisha in like a gajillion years, so I thought that he was like soup's dead, and they just were like, we're not going to talk about him again, whatever.
No, okay, so he's fallen sick of his sickness of which he died, and Joash, the king of Israel, came down to him and wept over him, and said, my father, the chariots of Israel, and the horsemen of it! Exclamation point. That wasn't a full sentence.
What?
This is confusing.
Also unrelated. Why are you saying that?
Yeah.
Elisha said to him, take bow and arrows. And he took to him bow and arrows.
Okay. Cool. Okay, check. Step 1. Bow and arrows get.
He said to the king of Israel, put your hand on the bow. And he put his hand on it.
Okay.
Elisha laid his hands on the king's hands.
In a sort of romantic way.
Yeah.
Or no, I guess he's old and dying now, so in sort of passing on his wisdom kind of way.
Okay.
Now we've put a lot of age makeup now on Vin Diesel, right? That's who's playing this.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not like an older. We haven't cast like Patrick Stewart or something to play like old man Elisha.
Save Patrick Stewart.
You're right.
We
do.
Me?
We're
we can't just throw him away.
We can't just like give him like one scene as old man Elisha.
I'm gonna put him on the list. And you know what?
Please do.
As I'm putting Patrick Stewart on the list, the last person we put on our list was Sean Connery, and that was before he died.
Oh yeah.
Shoot.
We didn't cast him in time. We can cast him posthumously.
No, we can't.
No, that's against the rules
Are
of
we
Drunk
saying
Bible
we can't?
Study. Yeah, that's...
Oh, dang it.
It's the arbitrary rules we made up early on.
Shoot.
Throughout the 7 years that this podcast is going to take, we're going to have to cross a lot of names off that list.
Yikes.
Dang.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. He said, open the window eastward. And he opened it. Then Elisha said, shoot. And he shot.
I meant west.
I meant west. Shoot.
Shoot.
Then Elisha said, shoot. And he shot.
Cool.
Now, this is a new way of laying out a story, because normally it would be like, Elisha told him, take a bow, put your hand on the bow, open the window eastward and shoot. And they'd be like, and then the king did. And he went, and he took the bow, and he put his hand on the bow, and then he opened the key. Like, normally we do a full repetition. So this is kind of new. It's exciting.
This reminds me of Ocarina of Time, when you have to, like, shoot the sun, and then you get the fire arrows. Like, hopefully that'll happen.
Okay, that's
hopefully.
Cool.
Yeah.
Then... Okay, Elisha said, shoot, and he shot. He said, Yahweh's arrow of victory, even the arrow of victory over Syria, for you shall strike the Syrians in Aphek until you have consumed them.
Oh.
He said, take the arrows. And he took them. He said to the king of Israel, smite on the ground. And he, do a ground pound. And he struck thrice and stayed. The man of God was angry with him and said, you should have struck 5 or 6 times.
What?
Then had you struck Syria until you had consumed it, whereas now you shall strike Syria but thrice.
What?
Elisha died and they buried him.
That was ridiculous. What just happened?
He's
Who
like,
cares? Like,
take the
what?
arrows and strike the ground. I guess shoot arrows into the ground. And he shoots 3. He's like, is that good? And he's like, you idiot. What are you thinking? It should have been 5 or 6. I know I didn't
And then
say
he
that,
died.
but
Can we write this down? Because
Yes.
okay,
why?
Yes,
Who
no, this
cares?
reminds me of like, it's like a bad kind of pickup thing of like, I'm going to tell you this story and I'll be like, oh, imagine this cube. What color is the cube? Oh, like, are there flowers around it? What color are the flowers? And then like from answering all these questions, you're supposed to be able to tell people's personality and stuff like that. That's what it feels
Gosh.
like.
Okay.
Like Elisha's just like, strike the ground any number of times you want. It doesn't matter, kind of like a magician. And then he's
See.
going to castigate
right. And then
you
he's like,
for-
okay, now multiply that by 7 and then divide it by your birth date. And then,
That's your
add
social
this
security number.
And now I have your
Yeah.
social
And is
security
this
number.
your card?
Yeah. Right.
Okay, and then Elisha dies.
Okay. Gosh. Well, okay.
Wow.
R.I.P.
Goodbye.
Elisha, played by Vin Diesel. It had a good
Yeah.
run. Had a good run.
Yeah, he did. He did.
He was in a lot of both of these books.
Yeah.
He was. Elisha died and they buried him. Now, the bands of the Moabites invaded the land at the coming in of the year.
Uh-oh.
It happened as they were burying a man that, behold, they spied a band, and they cast the man into the tomb of Elisha. And as soon as the man touched the bones of Elisha, he revived and stood up on his feet.
Wait,
Holy-
what is this man? Who is this man?
Just a
Just
random
any old
man.
man?
Any old man.
Well, okay, so wow. So okay, this is like 2 separate thoughts that have happened at once, right?
Yes.
There's this
Yes.
group of men who are burying another man. They
Yeah.
see some raiders. Unrelated to seeing those raiders, they toss the body of this man into Elisha's tomb. The dead man falls into Elisha's tomb, touches his bones, and comes back alive.
That
because
makes me
of
feel
the
like
magic of Elisha.
But that makes me feel like Elisha is just like in an open pit. Like he's
just
not
toss
in it.
him in.
Well, exactly. He's just like in an unmarked open pit grave type thing. And they're like, whoops, we
it's-
just are
it's-
going to throw him on in.
Probably like a cave or something, you know?
Yeah,
Okay.
they did love burying in caves, we learned earlier.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
But
Good
they said they
question.
cast the man into the tomb of Elisha. Maybe they threw him on into the
They
cave.
were hurrying. They were clearly panicked and just like, we just
Yeah.
gotta put him somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah. How about this? This
Now,
tomb's
well,
open.
Now hold on.
Yeah.
I would be equally unsurprised though if actually they do this and then Yahweh's like, how dare you defile the tomb of Elisha? I'm gonna kill all y'all.
well-
Except for the one guy that came back alive.
No, and then
And
I'm
then-
gonna kill him.
I don't know. Maybe Yahweh doesn't care. He's like, whatever, I'm over it.
Whenever he's
Let's
dead,
move
who
on.
cares?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great,
Elisha
okay.
was so magical.
A wild
so
story.
magical.
I
Yeah.
never heard that
Even in
story, and I'm
death.
surprised.
Yeah, that seems like the type of story that they'd tell you. They're like, look at this magical man.
But you know what? This kind of story, this kind of takes away from the impressiveness of Jesus bringing people back from the dead. And I feel like it would be very much in the evangelical wheelhouse to kind of play down the Old Testament Torah miracles and play up the Jesus miracles.
Aren't we past the Torah?
That's-
Well,
Well,
we're still in the Old Testament, though.
sure, yeah, still in the Old Testament. No, but
Yeah.
I do remember this story. Is the interesting
Oh,
part.
Really?
I don't remember the details of it, but I remember this thing about Elisha reviving someone from the dead besides the boy that he laid on top of and put his eyes on his eyes. That there was
His
this other
body
thing
on
with
his body.
Elisha's bones bringing someone to life, because I think
You were taught this?
I don't know if I was taught this, but I remember it.
How else would you know it if you weren't taught it?
I may have read about it.
You read it?
Or it may have come up in a sermon in church. There's any number
Wild.
of reasons why I could have heard
Okay,
about it
all
that
right,
wasn't
okay,
Sunday school.
okay. Great. Okay, so that happened. Hazael, king of Syria, oppressed Israel all the days of Jehoahaz. But Yahweh was gracious to them and had compassion on them and had respect to them because of his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And would
there
not
it is.
and would not destroy them, neither cast he them from his presence as yet. Yet being the operative term. Hazael king of Syria died, and Ben-Hadad his son reigned in his place. Jehoash the son of Jehoahaz took again out of the hand of Ben-Hadad, the son of Hazael, the cities which he had taken out of the hand of Jehoahaz his father by war. 3 times did Joash strike him and recovered the cities of Israel. That's the end of the chapter.
Oh, that was the 3 that he got for shooting the arrows. That's
what he got.
That's what he got.
It's so weird to me that they're like, yeah, Joash died. Wait a minute. Is this the same? Is this different Joash? Is this the boy king Joash?
This is the new Joash, I'm pretty sure. It seems to be a new Joash. Yes.
Okay. It's really he is also a king?
Yes. Yeah, he was also a king. Right, but he's the king of Israel instead of Judah?
Thank you, John Michael, in the chat. Like, thank goodness we have someone who can follow along, because I'm like, it's the same guy, or is it? I don't know. They just named someone the same thing again.
Okay, all right. Last chapter. Here we go. This chapter 14. In the 2nd year of Joash, son of Joahaz, king of Israel, began Amaziah, the king of Joash, king of Judah, to reign.
At least it's a freaking letter different than J to start the name out.
Right, that's true. Amaziah, the son of Joash, king of Judah, to reign. Okay. He was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Jehoiadin of Jerusalem. Let me just check the message to see if they give a cooler translation of her name.
My guess is giraffe.
No, it just says Jehoiadin. That was disappointing.
All
right.
It.
Okay. His mother's name was Jehoiadin of Jerusalem. He did that which was right in the eyes of Yahweh.
Wow. Another round of applause.
Good. All these kings of Judah are doing good jobs.
Okay, but okay, who's he going to leave behind? Some Asherah, some sexy shrines.
Not like David, his father. He did according to all...
who can?
Well, who?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Who can touch David in any respect? Like in Yahweh's eyes, nobody.
He did according to all that Joash his father had done. However, the high places were not taken away. The people still sacrificed and burnt incenses in the high places.
Those freaking incenses, I swear.
Patchouli. It happened as soon as the kingdom was established in his hand that he killed his servants who had slain the king his father. Okay, that's good.
That's fine. I'm all right with that. I get it.
But the children of the murderers he didn't put to death, because that would be messed up.
That's also good that he didn't, because some kings would.
According to that which is written in the book of the law of Moses, as Yahweh commanded, saying, the fathers shall not be put to death for the children, nor the children be put to death for the fathers, but every man shall die for his own sin.
Except that Yahweh doesn't follow that.
Are you
all.
kidding me? What?
Yeah.
I call bullshit, okay? Nah.
I agree. I want to look this up, as I'm curious about this, because...
Yahweh would whomever. I guess Yahweh can do it, but not anyone else?
I mean, classic.
Maybe that... Okay, sure. Maybe. That's actually a decent explanation.
Yeah.
But, wow, okay. I mean, I like this policy here. This is a good policy, but we've never seen this actually been enforced, and definitely not followed by Yahweh.
Well, not by Yahweh.
Yeah.
Goodness. Okay.
He killed of Edom in the Valley of Salt 10,000 and took Selah by war and called the name of it Joktheel to this day.
Well.
Then Amaziah sent messengers to Jehoash, the son of Jehoahaz, son of Jehu, all the J names, king of Israel, saying, come, let us look one another in the face.
You kind of did that in a Russian accent. Let us look one another in face.
Jehoash, the king of Israel, sent to Amaziah, king of Judah, saying, the thistle that was in Lebanon sent to the cedar that was in Lebanon, saying, give your daughter to my son as wife. And there passed by a wild animal that was in Lebanon and trod down the thistle.
Is this okay? Hold on. Is this
what's
like a
happening?
weird metaphor?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
Is this code? What is happening?
Is it like that whole thing of, it's unseasonably warm in Spain in the Decembers, And then the person responds with their like spy phrase, and they're like, right, but it's okay if you have snowshoes, right? That's like their code
I'm watching
phrase.
X-Files right now, and this like really reminds me of that. Like they would be doing something like this and saying like weird code to one another.
Right,
Wow.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like spy code. That's what I'm getting here.
Okay.
So I don't know if this wild animal is a metaphor or what. I think this is all part of the same message, though. So Jehoash, king of Israel, sent to Amaziah, the king of Judah, saying all that stuff, right? The thistle in Lebanon, sent to the cedar that was in Lebanon, saying, give your daughter to my son as wife, and there passed by a wild animal that was in Lebanon and trod down the thistle. You have indeed struck Edom, and your heart has lifted you up, again, glory of it, and abide at home, for why should you meddle to your hurt that you should fall, even you and Judah with you? I couldn't follow
help.
much of that.
Jace, help. Jace, help, please.
Oh, do we need a message? Is it message
Yes,
time?
always.
Okay.
It's message time.
It's the message time. One day, a thistle in Lebanon, this is all the quote, sent word to a cedar in Lebanon, quote, inside the other quote, give your daughter to my son in marriage.
Talk to one another.
End the second quote. Still in the first quote. But then, I see. A thistle in Lebanon sent
Is
word
it a
to a
parable?
cedar. Hold on. Follow what plants we're talking about here. This
Okay,
is
a tiny little thistle going to a
Said
cedar,
to a giant
punching,
big boy cedar.
punching way above his weight.
and said, give your daughter to my son in marriage. But then
And the thistle's like, okay.
a wild animal of Lebanon passed by and stepped on the thistle, crushing it.
Oh,
So the thistle was like, hey, give your daughter to marry my son, and then
Oh.
gets squished and dies.
That's hilarious. It's
Okay.
what a good story.
And then he goes into real talk. He's like, that was the metaphor. Just because you've defeated Edom in battle, you now think you're a big shot. Go ahead.
Whoa.
Okay.
Go ahead and be proud, but stay at home. Why press your luck? Why bring on defeat on yourself and Judah?
Okay, so he's just like, don't get too big for your britches.
Yeah.
Okay.
You little thistle.
You little thistle, you. But Amaziah would not hear. So Jehoash, king of Israel, went up, and he and Amaziah, king of Judah, looked one another in the face at Beth Shemesh, which belongs to Judah. Judah was put to the worst before Israel, and they fled every man to his tent. Does look each other in the face mean they went to battle? It seems, from the message, it seems like they went to battle. Okay. Now I get it. I thought it was like a parlay between the kings, but apparently it just means...
Maybe it's just like a formal,
battled each other?
some kind of formality.
Okay.
Yeah, challenge you to a battle. Okay, so yeah, everything's going great for Israel right now. Jehoash, king of Israel, took Amaziah, king of Judah, the son of Jehoash, the son of Ahaziah, at Beth Shemesh, and came to Jerusalem and broke down the wall of Jerusalem from the gate of Ephraim to the corner gate, 400 cubits.
Whoa.
He took
Okay,
all
he's
the
not
gold
messing
and
around.
silver and all the vessels that were found in the house of Yahweh and in the treasures of the king's house, the hostages also, and returned to Samaria. Now, the rest of the acts of Jehoash,
Yes, I knew it. I knew it.
which he did, and his might, and how he fought with Amaziah, king of Judah, aren't they written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel? Drink.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Drink.
Yes.
Drink.
Quite.
Jehoash slept with his fathers and was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel, and Jeroboam his son reigned in his place. Amaziah, the son
Different Jeroboam, though, right? Because we've had a Jeroboam before.
Right, yes, correct.
Cool.
Amaziah, the son of Joash, king of Judah, lived after the death of Jehoash, son of Jehoahaz, king of Israel, 15 years. What even?
What?
So Amaziah, who's
Yeah.
the king of Joash, who's the king of Judah, lived after the death of Jehoash, who's the son of Jehoahaz, who's the king of Israel.
Got it.
For 15
No, I
years.
don't.
He lived 15 more years after Jehoash died. So they are two different people, but it's very confusing about when we're talking about which. Now, now, the rest of the acts of Amaziah, aren't they written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah?
They might be.
Oh my God! I just
what if they weren't?
Legally,
what
there
if they
has to
say
be a
this
limit.
every time, and then like you look in the book of Chronicles, and it's like, wait a minute. No, they're not in here.
They're not.
They were just telling us that they were, but then they were questioning they might be, but then somebody
Like,
forgot
aren't
about
they?
them.
And they're like,
Aren't
yeah, you're
they?
right, they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I really should
It's
have
lost
finished
to
that
time.
story.
Nobody
then.
will ever know.
Yeah. Okay. Now the rest of the acts are, okay. They made a conspiracy against him in Jerusalem, and he fled to Lachish. But they sent after him to Lachish and killed him there.
Great.
So all the good kings keep getting killed now, I think.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. They're like being made an example of, but they're...
Oh, no, sorry.
Shouldn't
This
be.
is Amaziah, the king of the son of Joash, king of Judah.
So...
Maybe he was good. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, whatever. They killed him. That's fine. They brought him on horses, and he was buried at Jerusalem with his fathers in the city of David. All the people of Judah took Azariah, who was 16 years old, and made him king in the room of his father.
Teen
King.
He's a teen
Teen
king.
Like
King.
Teen Beat? Wait,
Like Teen
Tiger
Wolf was
Beat?
what I
No,
was
Tiger
thinking.
Beat. That was
Okay.
what that was.
He's a teen wolf, but he's on the cover of Tiger Beat.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay.
Cool.
So he becomes king after Amaziah. He built Elath and restored it to Judah. After that, the king slept with his fathers.
Wait, this teen king like built something and then died?
Yeah.
Seems like maybe, yeah. In the 15th year, what was the name of this? Azariah was this teen king. Okay. In the 15th year of Amaziah, the son of Joash, king of
that's
Judah.
the father.
Of Judah. This is the king of Judah.
This is really weighing
This is
on
really
my heart
hard to
today.
follow.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm sorry. This is not cool, man.
It's
Not
extra
cool.
bad today.
It's
Okay.
Just
let's just bear through. Yeah, in the 15th year of Amaziah, the son of Joash, king of Judah, Jeroboam, the son of Joash, king of Israel, began to reign in Samaria and reigned 41 years.
cool.
Great. He did that which was evil in the sight of
Obviously.
Yahweh. Okay, cool. Jeroboam. So this new Jeroboam also did evil just like the previous Jeroboam. Great. Okay, he did evil in the sight of Yahweh. He didn't depart from all the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, with which he had made Israel to sin.
Is that Jeroboam 1?
Yeah, I think that's Jeroboam Prime, yeah.
Okay, cool.
He restored the border of Israel from the entrance of Hamath to the sea of the Arabah, according to the word of Yahweh, the God of Israel, which he spoke by his servant Jonah, the son of Amittai, the prophet, who was of Gath-Hepher. Whatever.
Gath-Hepher, okay.
For Yahweh, it's just like, I'm so over it now. For Yahweh saw the affliction of Israel, that it was very bitter. For there was none shut up, nor left at large, neither was there any helper for Israel. Yahweh didn't say that he would blot out the name of Israel from the sky, but he saved them by the hand of Jeroboam, the son of Joash, even though he was wicked, I guess. Interesting. Okay. Now.
Jace, I know you're I know you're not gonna say it.
Now.
I know you're not.
Now.
You know that he is.
The rest of the acts of Jeroboam and all that he did and his might, how he warred and how he recovered Damascus and Hamath, which had belonged to Judah, for Israel. Aren't they written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel?
I really appreciated the person writing all this was like, I'm not going to elaborate on what each of these kings did. I'm just going to say that it's in another book. If it actually is in that other book or not, that's to be determined. Who knows? You're not going to read it, let's be honest. We'll just say that it's in there.
It does seem to imply that this other book they're referencing already existed, and that maybe this book is like the addendum. This is the one giving you extra details.
Ooh. This is Cliff Notes Prime.
Yeah.
Before there was Prime, before the Cliff Notes was actually created. Oh my God.
Okay.
Cool.
Last verse. Jeroboam slept with his fathers, even with the kings of Israel, and Zechariah, his son, reigned in his place.
At least it's a different letter than
Yeah, that's
J.
good.
Yeah.
Move on to the Z's now.
Yeah. I love it.
Is that it?
Do you?
Yeah, that's it. That's the end. That's the last verse.
Thank Yahweh. My goodness. I don't know what it was about today, but I'm not having it. That was
really hard to follow. That
was a
last chapter
tax.
especially.
That was a tax on my soul.
Wow.
It's a challenging time.
Wow.
But, I'm assuming the rest of the book is going to go like this to a degree. I really did appreciate those times when we were just following Elisha and his antics and his fun, times around Judah and Israel. He was having a blast.
It's nice when you have a single character to follow. I agree.
Yeah,
and now
blowing
we're
people
back.
up.
Now we're back to this kind of several kings per chapter kind of thing. It gets harder to follow.
Yeah,
More breakneck speed.
many kings.
Yeah.
Well,
but
all right.
That's why it's called Two Kings.
It should be called like 50 kings.
Before you.
You're right.
That's what I said now.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Oh, I like two princes. Jeez.
Uh-huh.
Good
Very
job.
nice.
One king.
Good callback.
Follows in Yahweh's footsteps, and that's a great thing. And one king
keeps the
keeps
Asherah
around
shrines
the
up.
sex
Yeah.
shrines, and that's no good now.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Eating babies.
Wow, that's pretty good. That's a good song that you just wrote. I like that.
There's some potential there. There's some potential there to kind of rewrite two princes as two kings, and it'll make somebody laugh. I don't know.
I don't know
the three
who
of us at the very
they're trying
least.
to marry though, because the two princes are trying to like marry a lady.
Right, the lady that they're
maybe
singing
they're
to,
just
I
trying to
assume.
woo Yahweh. These two kings.
I like that. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, like
right.
which book woos Yahweh the most? I'm gonna go at this point with First Kings because it was easier to
Wait, hold
follow.
on.
This is
No, you've
between the
changed
two
the
books.
Yeah, you've changed the terms of the game now, Emily, where it's
Well,
not
what
between
two
kings.
are you
but
talking about, Dedeker?
I don't
if
know.
not
What two
king...
princes is the song about? Like,
I
just
don't
two
know.
random
No,
princes.
hang on.
No.
What if Two Kings is about? It's because it's always about the king of Judah versus the king of Israel.
That's true.
So there's always two
Okay.
kings at any given time. It
Okay.
just changes which king is in which kingdom at each time.
Yeah, but there's so many. I was thinking that it would be like Kings, 1 and Kings 2. And that the whole book was trying to woo Yahweh.
I see. So it's Kings 1, the book, versus Kings 2, the book. Interesting.
Exactly.
Okay. Wow.
Abstract.
Right.
Postmodern.
Let's bring this thing
Very
home.
much.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us for Bible study today. If you want even more Drunk Bible Study, including ad-free episodes, early releases, personal toasts on the show, and more, become one of our patrons at patreon.com/drunkbiblestudy. If you enjoy the show, take a moment to subscribe and then write us a nice review on iTunes, letting other people know what you like about it. You can also join fellow listeners in the Drunk Bible Study Fans and Fellowship Facebook group. Find us on Twitter at Drunk Biblecast, on Instagram at Drunk Bible Study, or send us an email to info@drunkbiblestudy.com. Drunk Bible Study is created and produced by Jace Lindgren, Emily Matlack, and me, Dedeker Winston. Our theme song is Book Club by Josh and Anand from their album Home of the. The theme song for Second Kings is Gotham by Avatar.